Make sure to subscribe to this channel for more videos like this.
The way she right, the way she rock her body. The way she right, the way she rock her body. The way she right, the way she rock her body. The way she right, the way she rock her body. The way she right, the way she rock her body.
Coming up later, also, we're going to do a little playoff predictor action with Paul, run through some scenarios. But let's get to one of our favorite parts of the entire college football playoff predictor right here. And here's the first one. Let's start in the Big Ten today, because some huge games there that we just showed you about. Ohio State and Michigan both win. Let's say that happens. So we got to win against Michigan State. You got to win against Penn State. You see the numbers change here. The Buckeyes and Wolverines would then have around a 50% chance to make the playoff. That's on your left as you see those numbers. Georgia and Alabama, they jump up. Both still have the best chance to reach the playoff in this scenario. As you think about how the Big Ten factors in, what comes to mind?
Well, I think Ohio State is really the key team to watch. Somebody will get eliminated today in East Lansing. But if Michigan wins, which most people think they will, then they still have to go through Penn State, and then they host Ohio State in 5 weeks.
Right. So let's continue on in this scenario. Let's say instead both of these teams lose today. That means no team in the Big Ten has more than a 30% chance to reach the playoff, all but closing out the chance for the Big Ten to have multiple bids. Look at Georgia and Alabama in that scenario. Georgia shoots up to 91%, and they're lapping the field. Ole Miss actually down here, it's pretty interesting. They end up with, what, a 7% chance, closing in on 10% chance to make the playoff. So that scenario, how do you think that is going to factor in, especially as it relates to the SEC side?
For Ole Miss fans, think of yourself as Texas A&M last year.
Yeah.
Same loss, same place, unlikely to get in. And Kentucky's another question we'll get to. But right now, the Georgia-Alabama conundrum is really simply said, if Alabama runs the table, Laura, and then beats Georgia in the SEC championship game, the SEC will get 2 teams in. That's right, assuming Georgia is undefeated. But an Alabama loss there would probably end the Tide's chances. Yeah,
even though they still actually have about a 60% chance, even with a loss. But the committee, while they look at those numbers, they make their own decisions. All right, let's do this one here. How about today, Ole Miss wins against Auburn? You see their chances there jump up to about 13%. Their chance to win out jumps up to 41%. So interesting. Let me do that. If they win out, 41% chance to make the playoff. As you mentioned, you kind of talked about what Ole Miss can do. Let's do something else here. And listen, Georgia, the obvious favorite in this game happening, but let's just get crazy. Let's say Georgia loses this game. How would their playoff chances look? Still pretty good.
Well, because
still in a good spot.
I mean, I don't want to say Georgia can afford to lose today. Nobody would want to hear that. But
right,
should Georgia lose today and then win out and beat Alabama, they're in the same spot. They may not be the #1 seed. So Georgia is in really good shape. Alabama needs a little help, and the school I'm really interested in Tuesday night is Cincinnati. I don't believe in them. They had a terrible game last week. Where this committee starts them out will be very important, because they have one good quality game left against SMU.
Does it feel like they need to start out in the top 4 if the committee's going to show them that kind of respect to try and stay there?
Well, the only reason they could start outside of that because they have a quality game left, but only one. I mean, Alabama and Georgia are playing quality games every weekend. They're not. Yeah,
long term, by the way, the SEC champion and near lock when the championship game loser would actually have a 50-50 chance to reach the playoff. All right, thanks, Paul. That was fun. Let's get to Jordan with more on this.
Backyard Bowl will come alive, and they will storm the fields tonight in Jordan here.
I mean,
watch it.
I totally agree.
And it's going to set up for the Iron Bowl.
I agree.
Cannot wait for it.
I agree with most of those thoughts, but you said he was the best quarterback. You think he's going to be better than Matt Corral in the game?
Tonight he will. Yes, he will.
Wow.
You're such a shock jock.
I love it. Bring it.
Coming from Paul, that's a compliment.
It is.
That's a compliment.
It's the nicest thing you could have said to you.
Mr. Hot Take himself. What
is a compliment?
All right, this is yards, 3 touchdowns. The Bulldogs won that one. We got a dog here and we got a gator. Let's remind people about their records in this rivalry. Tim, you were 3-1. I know that one stings. Ben, you were 0-3. I'm sorry, Benjamin.
Actually, I wasn't 0-3. I was actually 0-4.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I didn't want to leave.
The year I had to sit out, that was 1-2. But that's why this game right now was very important today. But I'll let you keep on going.
Thanks for being so honest, man.
Oh, you know.
I was trying to let you off the hook there.
I just got to set it up, you know, where I'm going to go.
Okay, let's get some picks of this game here. We're getting closer and closer to kickoff right behind us. I'm going to let you go first, Roman. Who you taking, Georgia or Florida, and why?
So, I'm going to take my time on this. I'm going to try to really just break it down.
Pick your side, Dogs. And now we've got the two who know this rivalry the best up here, have played in it. I just want you guys to tell me, who should Tim Tebow pick?
Go Dogs.
Come on, Tim. Hey, be an analyst now, Tim, not a fan.
No, he's going to have to.
Analyst.
Who should Benjamin Watson
do
pick?
your analyst pick, then your fan pick.
Listen, it's very clear that my heart is with this orange and blue.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm just going to hurry up and get this done. I think Florida plays to the level that Georgia's going to play for most of this game, but I think Georgia has just a little too much depth that they get it done in the end.
That one hurts.
That one hurts.
Tim, that hurts you.
I can respect that.
It's okay.
No, I can respect that. See, that's why I like you, Tim Tebow. That's why I like you.
It doesn't mean I got to like it.
All right, Tim, get over to this Georgia side. He's waffling in between there.
Okay,
I can't really say no.
I am going to the Georgia side for sure. Georgia's going to win this football game. They're top 5 statistically in every category on defense. They're explosive on offense. But those aren't the reasons why. I believe this Kirby Smart team is on a mission that's bigger than today.
Yeah.
And so for them, this is the next step. Georgia wins because this is the next game for them to reach their ultimate goals, which we're not even going to talk about. Georgia wins the game.
Yeah, okay, all right, everybody, we got a clean sweep here. Everybody picks Georgia so far.
By that.
I respect that.
Yeah, Tim's like over there.
Yeah.
All right, it's time for Paul's pick.